Good evening, good evening, good evening. What's going on, everybody? How y'all doing today? Today is Tuesday, August 25th, 2020. It's great to be alive. Pleasure to have y'all with us today on the Urban Health Outreach Media. You're tuning in with us on the Finding Your Will to Survive show. I'm your host, Raynaldo Alexander. I appreciate you for joining today. Hope all has been well. How everybody doing? If you would, how about start a watch party? Can you do that? Those of you that may be on right now, we need you to like the Urban Health Outreach Media. Great information on here. Tons and tons of information that you will not, I say again, you will not find on any other platform. And you get to be encouraged by Ray. So I ask that you like and share, start a watch party if you will. And I want you to just kind of follow along with me and maybe hashtag some high points that may touch you, or tickle your fancy or whatever. But it's important that you like and that you start a watch party. And what you do is you give people uh, that may be connected to you the opportunity to hear, to be encouraged, to be inspired, and to be empowered. Um, I bless you today. Thank you again for joining. I want to ask you a question. And it's been a long week already, huh? But let me ask you a question, serious question. Have you ever gone to the grocery store, picked up a couple of canned items, canned goods, and saw one like this and picked it up? When there was one like this next to it. Chris Douglas asking, how do you start a watch party? So at the bottom of your screen, if you're watching on cell phone, that should be an option that says watch party or start a watch party. And what happens is, I believe that the actual broadcast shows up on your page. So everybody that's connected to you on your page get a chance to watch it as if they've connected to the Urban Health Outreach Media. If I'm not mistaken, that's how it works. So maybe if someone is here again and they could, maybe kind of guide him to starting a watch party if you would, if you could comment something on it to kind of help him out. I appreciate it. Thanks a lot. So I have here 2 cans of Campbell's vegetable beef. Good. Campbell's is good. I have them. Two of the same cans. One can is perfect in its outer shell. No blemishes, no dents, no dysfunctions of any kind. Whereas the other can, as you can see, it's been beat up pretty good. Dents, scratches. It seemed as if it's had a rough life. Both are the same, with the exception of one is in perfectly good shape as far as the can itself, and one is pretty beat up. If you went in the store, just happened to have a taste for some Campbell soup, and both these cans were sitting next to each other, they were the only cans available, chances are you would probably pick this can. Because after all, there's not a mark on the can, there's not a dent, there's not a dysfunction of any kind, no type of deformity. Even though This particular can is the exact same thing as this. With the exception of the can beat up, there's no leaks. There's nothing about this can of soup that will literally turn you away from it, with the exception of the can being beat up itself. And unfortunately, that's how it is in life. What do you mean? Some of us has gone through so much in life. We walk around and we walk around like this bent up can, often overlooked, often left alone, often mistreated, or just treated differently because we've gone through a lot. After all, anybody who would go through 5 years of dialysis, 10 years of dialysis, 1 year of dialysis, 20 years of dialysis, gonna have some bumps and bruises, right? I mean, anybody who would go through some type of heart or lung issue would clearly have something physically as a residue, right? What about some type of cancer? Do you think there would be some type of physical or mental effect of going through the process of treatments, operation after operation, chemo after chemo? How about this? How about a person that may has dealt with lupus? Have I knocked on your door yet? I got it. What about a person that's gone through the stresses of life through divorce? The person that they vowed to be there the rest of their life, for whatever reason or another, fell short. Surely that would have some type of effect, right? I hadn't knocked on your door yet. How about bankruptcy? Most of us are proud people. We go through financial hardships. Sometimes we can't afford the things that we once normally could because of lack of hours, losing your job, whatever the reason is. And sometimes you may have to file bankruptcy, which is not something you just proudly go and broadcast. So surely that'll have an effect on you. Have I knocked on your door yet? No. How about death of a loved one? How about loving somebody so much that you literally give your life for them, and they're here one day and the next day they're gone? Surely that will leave you distraught in some type of way. How about this? Have you ever had a vehicle repossessed? Have you ever had a home repossessed? Huh? Have you? It's not a prideful thing, is it? You don't go and broadcast that to the world. I'm saying this. In life, we deal with so much. You deal with so much in life. Things come at you in all different directions. All different directions. And you find yourself beat up like this can. The content on the inside is good. It's still good. In fact, it's just as good as the content in this particular can. But this can has gone through an awful lot in life. An awful lot. And it shows. This leads me to the topic today. Even though you've been beat up, even though you've been stepped on, you've been kicked on, even though you've been looked over, pushed down, left for dead, however it has gone, your life still has value. Your life still has value. If you will, why don't you just hashtag that for me? Your life still has value. How about hashtag, make it personal, my life still has value. Yes, my life still has value. And that's the only thing I want to encourage you on today. Regardless of how many times you've been beat on, kicked, tumbled over, your life has value. There's value in your life. There's so much to your life. It's so much that you don't even know. In fact, a lot of times when we're going through things, we don't even know what the world will think. We have no idea of how anything good can come out of something that's so bad. How is it that you're telling me something good can come out of something so bad? I've been left for dead, kicked on, stabbed in the back, abused, suffered kidney disease, lung issues, heart transplant. How is it that something so horrific can ultimately render something so good? You found yourself being like this can. But if I pop this can, if I take my little can opener and I open this can, the content on the inside of this can will be just as good as the content in this can. Regardless of what you've experienced in life, regardless of how low you've fallen, regardless of how many mistakes that you possibly could have made, don't walk around as if you have no hope. Don't walk around as if there is no light at the end of the tunnel. Because just like this beat up and toppled on can, what's on the inside of you is still good. Your life here still have value. Your life still has value. Depression cannot deny the value on your life unless you allow it. Kidney dialysis cannot depreciate the value of your life unless you allow it. Divorce cannot deplete the value on your life unless you allow it. The troubles that you've experienced cannot and will not downgrade the value on your life unless you allow it. The content on the inside of you is good. Even if other people look at you and pass you over, it's okay. It's okay. Even if they think that you're less than what you were, it's okay. Because sooner or later, when the rubber meets the road, what's on the inside of you is ultimately going to come out. And what's happening is when you're going through the things that you're going through, something is being cut and something is being carved. Other pieces around your life are being placed. Other people are being cut and other people are being carved. And it's like the masterpiece of a puzzle. Even though you're hurting, even though you're crying and you're shedding tears, even though you're being hooked up to a machine, even though you may be a transplant recipient, things are being cut out. What do you mean? I want to show you this. I want to show you this. Just follow me. This is a puzzle. This is you on the inside. You're beat up. You're torn. You're at the point of your life when you don't know what's going on. You don't know why you're going through what you're going through. You have no idea. You're traveling, walking around like a nomad. Don't know who you are, where you're going. You're searching for light. You're searching for truth. You're searching for an explanation. You're questioning God, and it's okay. But see, there's other people around you as well. There are other situations around you, but they're being cut and they're being carved. They're being cut and they're being carved, and they're being molded. The destiny on your life is happening all around you. It's happening. See, you're not getting ready for your blessing. Your blessing is getting ready for you. But I need you to understand this. When you understand that your life has value, you understand that one day, all the questions that you had, you mean to tell me that when I was on dialysis, I was being cut and carved? Yes, something was being cut out of me and something was being added. When my house burned down, yeah, something was being working on the inside of me. That was a great thing that I could not see. When my wife left me, yes, something great was still being worked out. The loneliness that I experienced, yes. The people, when you're being hooked up on that dialysis machine, there's something great on the inside of you. Something is being worked out. And when those pieces of your life come back together. If I can find the pieces. Everything that you've gone through was a cut. Everything you experienced was a carving out. Every ounce of downness that you felt was you being cut on. And at the end of the day, your pain will literally connect you to your destiny. I always knew I would be an author. I always knew I would be connected to great and powerful people. But I did not know that it would take me losing everything that I thought was valuable. I did not understand and did not know that it would take me being on dialysis for 5 years. I did not know that it would take a wife leaving me and walking out. I did not know that it would take everything in me to feel like it was done for nothing, to be depleted, to feel empty. But as I was being cut and carved, there was a Tiki Davis that was being cut and carved. There was a Les Brown that was being cut and carved. There was a Johnny Wimbrey that was being cut and carved. There was a Marie Karske that was being cut and carved. There was a major book opportunity that was being created by these people that was being cut and carved. And when I was going through everything that I was going through, I did not know how the pieces of the puzzle would be put together. But it took my story to be able to tell and inspire people with the story of my life to be able to complete this particular puzzle, to connect me with great people, to provide platforms such as this, to become a two-time published author, to become mentored by one of the greatest inspirational speakers this world has ever seen. You can't despise what you go through right now. Your life has value. Everything about your life is purposeful. Everything about your life is purposeful. And your pain, some way, somehow, literally will connect you to your purpose. It will connect you to your destiny. And sooner or later, if you don't give up or quit, you will be able to look back and say, now I understand why I had to go through everything I've gone through. Now I understand why I had to hurt the way I've hurt it. I can hear Tiki Davis say, now I understand how I had to get stabbed in the neck and falsely accused of a crime. Now I understand, because now when I look back at those moments and I see myself now as a successful entrepreneur, as a powerful and inspirational, motivational speaker, I can see how it all came to pass and worked out for my good. I can see how everything in my life came together. And if I pull back any piece of this puzzle, it changed the whole outcome. I can understand. So you got to be careful of the things that kind of deplete you or cause you to think that there's no value in your life. Depression had me thinking that I didn't have value in my life. Dialysis had me thinking that the value on my life had downgraded. I began to think that nobody would want me. I began to think that nobody would want to be a part. Who would want to be connected with a person on dialysis? Yes, I know now. I know better now. But I'm telling you my mindset while I was going through what I was going through. And maybe perhaps you have felt like your life was downgraded. Maybe perhaps you have felt like your life had no value. If you can remind yourself, if you will, do this for me. And I've asked you to do it once before. Les Brown actually did this. Put your hand over one ear and repeat these words. My life still has value. Go ahead and do it. It sounds crazy, I know it. Put that hand over that ear and say it. My life still has value. So the reason I asked you to put your hand over the ear, because when you said it, it didn't go in one ear and out the other. That you would retain it, that you would believe it, that you would begin to move with power and energy and authority, and you'll begin to walk towards the pressure that's been pushing you down. They say pressure busts pipes, but let me give you a few things that some other people have said about pressure. Tommy Lasorda said this about pressure. Pressure is a word that is misused in our vocabulary. When you start thinking of pressure, it's because you've started to think of failure. Peyton Manning says it like this: pressure is something you feel when you don't know what the hell you're doing. Ed Henson says it like this: how we handle pressure will determine whether we stand or whether we break. How will you handle the pressure of life that you're ultimately facing or that you face? How will you handle the things that's pushing you down to a blear pulp? How will you handle the mindset of achieving that your life still has value even though you're going through everything you're going through? How will you handle it? Pressure makes diamonds. No other way. How many of you realize that your body is mostly made up of water? How many of you realize that your brain and your heart are composed of about 70%, 73% of water, and your lungs about 83% of water? I'm going somewhere with this. The majority of our being, our makeup, is majority of water. There's a principle of the law of physics that was written by Bernoulli. They call it the Bernoulli principle. He says, and it states, that as the speed of a moving fluid, liquid or gas, increases, the pressure within the fluid decreases. As the speed of moving fluid increases, the pressure within that fluid decreases. What are you saying? I said that to say this. You want to decrease the pressure in your life? Start moving. You want to decrease the pressure of dialysis? Start moving. You want to downgrade the pressure of bankruptcy or losing your job or losing your family? Start moving. What do you mean? Start believing in yourself. Start investing in yourself. Start moving towards the very thing in which the pressure is coming from. I remember reading about an eagle. The eagle would soar up as high as it could go. And when the storm would come, the eagle would then fly away from the storm. But the eagle flew high. And it flew high up in the middle of the storm where the eye was. And the eye was the calmest place in the storm. Move towards the pressure, even if your body can't or won't allow you to do it. I heard a man say this just the other day. He said it on this show. He said that my mind will allow me to do something my body won't allow me to do. You can do something with your mind that you can't do with your body. Don't let your current circumstances stop you from moving. Even if you physically depleted or you can't move about physically like you could, you have a mind. You can create, you can write books and you can write short stories and you can do things creatively with your mind. You can write grants and you can do all sorts of things that will become an inspiration to people. You can just simply tell your story and you can inspire people. You can inspire people to not give up. You can empower people. You can create wealth in their minds. You can create the possibilities of seeing things that they couldn't normally see by telling your story. There are countless things you can do with your mind when your body won't allow you to do it. You can if you just believe that your life still has value, even though you've been beat up like this can. You felt as low as you can possibly feel. I need you to know today that your life has value. I have here a $10 bill picked up from the ground. When you see yourself as this $10 bill, being involved in inclement weather, being stepped on, rolled on, walked over, looked over, and you're wrinkled up, remember that even though this $10 bill is what it is, the value of it has not changed. I can take this same $2 bill, this same $10 bill that's been looked over, that's been balled up, and it'll spin just as well as this crispy $10 bill. Your life has value, even though you sometimes felt as if it didn't. Your life has value. These are some things I don't want you to do. I don't want you to see yourself as an underdog, because underdogs is a name given to people on the outside looking in. Dealing with everything that you're dealing with, you're still not an underdog. They don't know that you have fighting and tenacity of a bulldog. They don't know that even in spite of everything you're going through, you refuse to give up. They don't know that. In this race of life, you're not going to run like some little Shelly pony, but you're going to run like a thoroughbred. I believe that. You're not going to act as if you're some little chicken that's sitting up on a hill or a mountain, but you're an eagle that's flying high, and you're flying in freedom, and you're flying in power. Your life still has value. Though you've been looked over, your life has value. Though you've been stabbed in the neck with a screwdriver, your life has value. Though you've been falsely accused of things that you did not do, your life has value. Though you're sitting up on a machine questioning life itself, know that your life still has value. Though somebody has walked out on that you depended on and you trusted to always be there, I'm here to tell you today that your life still has value. Though you've been kicked on, stabbed in the back, hoodwinked, shortchanged, your life still has value. And when your life has value, you can look like this beat up can on the outside, but you're going to still eat like the goods of this Campbell soup can that's on the inside. When your life still has value, you can walk around sometimes with your head down. But when you remind yourself that my life has purpose, I was created for a reason. And even though I don't understand everything I'm going through now, I know that one day it's going to work out for my good. And my pain will not only push me to my promotion, but it will connect me to my destiny. And it will become the bridge that I literally cross from one point to the other, and I experience the greatest blessings of my life. I need you to know that. I need you to believe that. I need you to know that the pressure that you're experiencing right now, tough people go through hard times, and hard times require tough people. You are one of the few and chosen to go through. You are one of the few that's anointed to handle, to carry the weight, to carry the burden of the weight you're carrying. And not only will you carry it, but I believe that you will carry it well. I believe that you will carry it well. Be not weary in well doing. Don't get tired to where you fall out. Don't get tired to where you stop. Because there is an appointed time. There's a time set for you. There's a preordained time. There's a set time, appointed time that's set just for you. That's going to come together and make everything. Going to make everything that you ever sold for, everything you've ever sold in, everything you've ever believed in, it's going to bring it into fruition. Don't give up before the manifestation of your faith. Don't give up. Even if you have to rely on the faith of somebody else for your life, until you can rely in the faith that you have for your own life. Hold on to the words of inspiration that other people speak. Hold on to the hope that they share and they give you, because I'm here to tell you tonight that your life still has value. That's my time tonight. I hope that you found not only inspiration and encouragement, but empowerment on tonight's topic. Your life still has value. I thank you for tuning in to the Urban Health Outreach Media with the Finding Your Will to Survive show. I'm your host, Raynaldo Alexander. If you'd like to link up with me, you can link up with me on Facebook at Finding Your Will to Survive. All together. At symbol at Finding Your Will to Survive. No spaces, all together. You can link up with me there. If you will, I need you to not only like and share, but I want you to tell somebody else about it. It's just one little nugget sometimes. That's the determining factor that gives somebody the drive, the hope, the encouragement they need not to give up. Because you see, depression seems to find its way into our lives by our situations. It acts as a devaluer, it tries to devalue our life, it attempts to downgrade our life. And over 75% of people around the world are dealing with depression, but they're not even getting help. And over 1 million of those people literally die every year. If you would, I once heard Lisa Baxter say it like this: sharing is caring. Sharing is caring. Share. Start a watch party, and you never know the life that you could save. You never know the life that'll be impacted by one little nugget of hope that may come from this broadcast. Again, thank you for joining us. My name is Ronaldo Alexander. You've tuned in with the Finding Your Will to Survive show. I'm your host. We're here every Tuesday night at 7 o'clock Central, 8 o'clock Eastern Time, where I will continue to be your host. We may possibly have a few guests here in the future, but this is our half hour of power. And if you've heard something that has inspired you, that has touched you, that has touched you in any type of way, hashtag it, send me a message. I go back and read all of the comments. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Thank you. I leave on this note. Your life still has value. Thank you and have a good night.